Halloween, Halloween, creepy crawly Halloween, trick or treating all in fun. October 31st has come. Halloween, Halloween, spooky kooky Halloween, kids in costumes, what a sight on Halloween.
We're recording.
We're back. We are now. John, we are back. Jon and Danielle, Hauntcore history. It's been a while since we've done one of these, but we're doing part one of...
We're talking again.
Part one of Halloween Horror Nights 2007, which was the first year you attended.
Yes, it was.
And this was the first year that I...
Heard about it?
No. God, no. The first year I ever heard about Halloween Horror Nights was when they did that Travel Channel special.
Mm-hmm.
But this was the first year that I heard about it being in LA. Because this is when they kind of really came back into the limelight because they did Freddy, Jason, Leatherface.
Yeah.
New Line partnered with Universal to do some mazes, and they looked amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But they also brought Jack the Clown over this year. The Carnival of Carnage was the theme. What were your emotions when you attended this event for the first time?
Well, we had heard about it the year before in 2006 when it came in.
Mm-hmm.
And we had heard, because that's when they had the director, which was the icon from Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And they had him in charge of the Terror Tram. And you're part of his movie and all that, like.
Pablo.
Yeah, and so we heard about this, and then they had like generic theme stuff for their mazes.
Mm-hmm.
But hearing the whole thing about the Terror Tram and the director is what really made us go, all right, next year we're going. We didn't know that our first year going, we're getting Freddy, Jason, and Leatherface, and Jack the Clown as the icon, and it was freaking awesome. So
this week we're going to talk more the maze side of things than the scare zones and shows.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the first mazes right out of the get that they boasted, I mean, we've said it already, but A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mm-hmm.
So this is 2007. So our video quality is way better. This is in the Shrek queue, and you entered John through the
Weston Hills Asylum.
So when you first see this for the first time in person, were you just like,
I was terrified, Jimmy.
Were you really?
I was terrified.
I don't know if I've ever seen you scared in a maze.
This was my first time doing a haunted event. Was this right here?
Really?
Right into the mix of Halloween Horror Nights.
Never been to a haunted house before.
Never. And I'm pretty sure this was the very first maze we did too. And I remember coming around this corner, seeing the facade, hearing the little kids and everything, and I just thought to myself, holy shit. Like, I've always been terrified of Freddy, so for me I was like, this is gonna be bad. I kept talking to my brother. I was like, dude, I don't know if I could do this, man. I'm freaking out. And he's like, are you serious, dude? I'm like, yeah. I'm freaking out. So before I know it, I'm saying like I'm freaking out, and then we're going in. And so then I was like, shit.
We'll get to 2008.
Way better
later on.
Nightmare on Elm Maze, by the way.
But this was like you're walking through the asylum. You hear in the beginning that nurse was saying the 1,000 Maniacs story, which was the origin story for Freddy.
Mm-hmm. That was from 4, right? 4 or 5? Is it the Dream Child?
Yeah, so the Dream... I don't know if...
Dream Warriors is 3.
Dream Warriors is 3. I would say reference
4
this origin, but 4, yeah, you see the chick from Drew Carey is the mom or whatever.
Remember, that dude terrified me. I thought he was real. This guy just posted up in the corner in the hallway.
And Freddy is saying your mind or something like that.
This was like a very original idea maze. Like, they pretty much just took like random elements that they liked from like the series and just tossed them together in this. Like, there's a
now we're going in. So you did see the Roach Motel. This was like,
yeah.
I remember seeing this in person, and this was like freaking me out.
The ground was all squishy.
Mm-hmm.
And see, those are his eyes from Freddy vs. Jason. Which the Roach Motel wasn't even a part of.
Yeah, the Roach Motel was way before Freddy vs. Jason. This is like a compilation of like the best Freddy films.
No.
And he pops out of that bag.
It's a lady's uterus.
Oh,
The big old fat ladies.
right on.
Uterus.
I think they repurposed her for the Alice Cooper maze down
Yes,
the road.
they did.
Fresh.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I think it's this part coming up. Because like they really wanted this. They made an electric glove for Freddy.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
his
it's
glove
the
is-
syringes, but it's all like electrified.
That's pretty cool. What a... Yeah, so you're
I
getting
would
the
be
lines.
crying.
That was terrifying.
Yeah, I would.
It's just cool because there's a gag that they use in this that anytime they do a Nightmare on Elm Street maze, they use the same gag. And that's the person like they're laying in a bed that's vertical, and then they have Freddy's arm pop through their stomach.
Like
And
a padded
and the
walls.
padded
that's
walls
cool.
with the fabric where he's like reaching through the wall.
You know that like they're screaming for the entire thing.
Oh yeah. No, even when we went like that's all we heard was screams in this one. Oh yeah, like this one. So he's got like an electric glove and he's
That
like
is
frying
so
the person.
cool.
Like, you know that was never in any of the films, but it's a badass scene. That chair's from Mystery One. Oh yeah, and of course, and
And now
throwing
the
a
boiler
crying
room.
baby sound in the boiler room. And
Hell no.
that's not scary at all.
That's just fucked up.
You got Devil Freddy
Yeah,
and the nurse.
holding the baby. Damn, he just drilled that dude.
Sounded like he just said, fuck you. In my house.
Yeah, he's all in that dude's face. I remember this part terrified me.
So you're pretty much shitting bricks the entire time, huh?
Yeah,
I hate hanging shit in my face.
especially chains, and then you have like two Freddys on your sides,
Yeah.
and then there's one line.
That's pretty badass.
And this
Like
one scared the shit out of
carriage.
us too. Yeah, the giant carriage.
Mm.
Such a cool prop.
So that's kind of like the origin of Freddy Krueger, right there. Is what you were witness to.
Yeah, but well, yeah, because I mean, yeah, they take you through the asylum, and that's basically where he was born. You know, and they show some of the famous kills and stuff like that. I miss this maze location because they always have that last scare
Mm-hmm.
when you're coming down the exit.
Right there.
Yeah.
They usually did it like 2 or 3 times, sometimes, some years. Yeah, so you're freaked out at that point going through it.
And this is the first maze I'd ever done.
So you've never been to like an independent one?
No. That was the first haunted house I ever did.
Was Higby a thing?
No. We didn't start until 2010.
So talk to me about what John was before haunted houses.
I mean, I would always decorate like the front of the house heavily. Like we went crazy with our Nightmare Before Christmas theming, and we like built the clock, and we had like a Zero and Oogie Boogie that we had built.
Oh wow! So you were
Yeah.
a baby. Oh, and so your brother, when you say you're telling your brother like you don't know if you can do this, you're talking about Jason, right?
Yeah.
And what is he saying? Just like suck it up.
No, he was laughing. He's just like, "Are you serious?" Like, he's like, "We're walking in right now." But we were definitely noobs to Halloween Horror Nights because we got into the event late, which was already mistake number one.
Dude, yeah, we did too.
Mistake number two, we hit the first maze we could see, which was Nightmare on Elm Street, which you never want to do when you go to the event. So we were waiting in some pretty heavy lines.
Yeah.
But we didn't know any better. So
did you guys do Fast Pass that year or no?
No, we were general
admission. Yeah,
we were a couple kids. We didn't know any better.
Was it just the two of you?
No, it was me, my brother, his girlfriend at the time, our friend Brett, Chris Martin, his girlfriend. Our friend Austin and his girlfriend at the time, and another one of our friends, Ed. We had a decent crew rolling. And then I think after Nightmare on Elm Street, then we hit Universal's House of Horrors, which I still had the courage to go and do after Nightmare on Elm Street because I was like, it's the monsters. I got to go through it.
This maze, I miss this house.
I miss this one a lot too. It bugged me that they always tried to change it because I seriously felt like just leave it as is and I'll love this maze forever.
Yeah, you don't have to change it. Like you start and you're walking through the castle and there was like bats and skeletons and stuff in the castle.
Yeah, you go into like the catacombs, of Dracula's castle. I always got drilled in this maze too.
The thing that always gets me, that always used to get me in this house was the Mrs. Bates scene, the shower curtain thing.
Oh, yeah.
When you see her shadow and you don't know where she is, and I always would freak myself out to be like, I know that bitch is behind the curtain.
See, for me, it was the brides. The brides in, like, this area. I think this is a Phantom right here. Or Dracula.
I'm just pissed that I didn't even know about this.
This is awesome. This was their year-round walkthrough that they had. That you could go visit, and they had it. Like, it's literally just any of the monsters and, like, horror characters that Universal created, they had put in this thing.
Yeah,
so right here was the brides.
Went to Universal.
And this is this blurry shit right now. There you go.
Had you have walked through this thing before?
No. So my first time going through this was Halloween Horror Nights.
Is this your first time at Universal Studios?
No, I've been there before. What this was, the last time I had gone, this was based on the Grinch film. They had a walkthrough of like the Grinch's lair and everything, and that's what this was.
Damn. So I can remember walking through this.
Man,
that and the Mummy.
Is that where the Mummy was as well? Was it the Mummy? Then did it become Van Helsing?
Yes.
Okay.
The whole thing was Mummy themed. Like you walk through this tomb.
Was this the Mummy scene right here?
Yeah, you're walking through the Mummy's tomb. So there's a lot of like this right there.
Yeah.
But then when you get to the big open room, the laboratory.
Yeah. There's Chucky.
But that's one thing they still have yet to do in Hollywood is a really solid Chucky house.
Yeah. They did like this where Chucky took over and it was kind of like, and whatever. This was always a good scare too with all the puppets, all the toys, and he was like just chilling there and he'd run forward. And then they did a whole thing where the strangers took it over. We would meet the strangers and they were literally like right there in that one scene and that was it.
Yeah. And that's the shadow player. And there's the laboratory. I love that.
That room was like amazing. Cool. Yeah. With the bride right there. Being animated.
The fact that you can look down on
people getting the shit out of them, that was always cool. I think it's Jimmy's favorite part coming up as you enter the basement of the Psycho house. There's the mom.
Yeah, it's just like, what the hell?
This is like one of the best ways I've seen like a mirror maze used in was this. Because there was like where you thought it was a mirror, then like a light would turn on, and they like had her behind the mirror. And I was always like, oh shit.
Yeah, you want to know 3 easy ways to fucking freak Jimmy out? Loud noises, dark spaces, and shit in your face. Like fishing line or string or some shit. And you
Pretty
can't
much
see where
anything
you're
from a
going.
house.
Like when American Horror Story happened,
Mm-hmm.
and you walk through the hotel, there's a bunch of like string and shit.
Yeah.
And that dude was like wrapped up in the curtain.
Oh yeah.
Like,
See, then here's the scene of Dawn of the Dead,
yeah.
which
No,
could have been way better.
They threw a bunch of them in there, man.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the werewolf room. Fuck that room.
Oh, the spinning tunnel.
Well, then the
or
forest
just
one.
the forest part, yeah. So that's where you see the video of Wolfman. And pretty sure it starts with the spinning tunnel. It's crazy because you look at this maze and you see how long it is to go through,
It's huge.
and then you think of what they've done with the Walking Dead maze and its location, and it's like garbage compared to this. It's Wolfman. Awesome classes Wolfman too. And still terrify people.
Climbing up on the freaking thing.
You know? Oh, there's the tunnel.
It's funny because their reactions, I feel like their reactions are more genuine. Because there's not a whole lot like this at the time.
Yeah.
2007, like this is like a huge deal.
This lab is enormous. And for there just to be freaking Igor running around, and then the Frank right here was always awesome.
That's why this was why Universal Monsters
Yeah,
last
I
year
agree.
was so loved because a lot of them miss like the classic.
Oh yeah. And yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah. And then there's always a chainsaw wielder at the end of this maze, like from the scare zone. They ended up like posting us there like all the time.
Just to be a dick.
Yeah.
So then where did you go?
Then after that, then it was Friday the 13th, Camp Blood.
So you started at the top and just worked your way to the bottom.
Yeah, we were rookies. So we were waiting in long ass lines for each month. I mean, we did not know any better.
I love this maze. When the next year, like, I don't know how we'll see here how different it was, but the fact that they could make you feel like you were outside when you were inside was such a cool. I remember being blown away by that.
But it's funny because I almost feel like Friday the 13th and like a Nightmare on Elm Street maze benefit from almost just kind of being original and just putting you in the atmospheres. Like this, literally, they don't take a whole lot from the films as much. It's just like they're just walking around the camp, and they kind of have Jason just doing his normal things.
Yeah, so like right now you're just kind of walking through cabin, like the walls are cabin paneling.
Yeah.
And then you get Sackhead, Jason. It's all the way back to the beginning. I'm around Friday the 13th Part 2.
You gotta say one of their big faults was the very first scare had a mask from Rocky.
Rocky?
Rocky Johnson.
Seriously?
Yes, if you go back, he's wearing
I didn't
a
see
Rocky
that.
mask. It was almost like they tried to have him be like Jason
So they're
from
walking
2, where
in.
he's like, where he loses the bag. but it's a rocky maze. He's coming around the corner.
There's the lady
Go back to him.
walking in the cabin. That guy?
Yeah.
Was Rocky Dennis or whatever?
Yes.
Huh. Interesting. Interesting choice, Universal. The first of a series that you would make.
Yes. Well, they had to start out low at some point, so they'd go up to eventually go back down.
Yeah, Sackhead with the axe instead of the machete. Paying homage to the...
This happened a lot back in the day too. Like there were so many times where we'd be going through a maze and we'd literally come to a stop.
But the thing that was cool about the Friday the 13th, like, so the Freddy maze, like, the Freddy maze was cool because you saw Freddy do some stuff, but this, like, they're hitting you with the classic kills right out of it, like, right from the get.
I like that one.
These tie-in, yeah,
The sleeping
guy
bag.
and sleeping bag in the
Fish
tree.
under the tree. Yeah, under the tree. That's a sleeping bag on the ground, right?
But this right here was so cool because they piped in pine scent.
Yeah. All the leftover trees from E.T.
Mm-hmm. Poor E.T.
Yeah. It's okay. Here he is for something good. Oh, this is always a cool scene.
Oh, yeah. When he chops the head off.
Then he goes down the shoulder. Yeah.
Oh, that's so badass.
Wow.
Blood splatter all over you.
So if you haven't seen a video, essentially Jason just walked into a tent and chopped a dude in half right in front of you.
Did they do like a water spray?
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
You
That's
got
awesome.
soaked in this maze.
That's awesome.
You got the kid with the bow and arrow, all the arrows, and now. Damn. So yeah, it's not full Jason without the mask, but it's not full Rocky Dennis. It's like if the two had like a brother.
Merged together.
Yeah.
Got the classic wheelchair right down. The freaking cleaver to the head.
Dude, that was
Steve Dash, may he rest in peace. That was his favorite kill in the franchise. Was killing that kid in the wheelchair. Walking through a house, Jason is
Is that a camera?
yeah, something through the
Something
eyes.
down. Of course, spray with water. It's all over the camera.
Yeah, I feel like they sprayed you a lot more back in the day.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Sometimes. There's one point.
Oh, the
Oh, that's
bed.
from Freddy
Yes.
vs. Jason, right?
Yeah, that one I liked too. That was like when I seen that, I was like, holy.
Oh,
Oh, that
classic.
sounds gross.
That was from technically one, right?
It wasn't one, it was 2 or 3.
Let's go through the two.
Yeah. Because one,
Oh, yeah, because it
one
was
is
Jason that did it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be.
I was thinking Cameron Bacon got the arrow for
the soundtrack.
That's so awesome. That would scare me.
this. Took off the head.
The dude who's videotaping this is laughing.
Yeah, he's laughing. Oh, Jason, you're so funny. And there's the mother's head. And the mother.
Yeah, I can remember these feelings so much longer back in the day too. That would have scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, they stopped doing that gag and I missed that one.
Body with no head.
Oh, and the bug. And he had like the machete going through the roof. The girl trying to get out of there.
Again, you feel like you're outside, but you're inside. They do this well in the Michael Myers mazes too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Come on, Jason. Give it a little more. Oh, they got the
The
creepy
villagers. Nice zoom in on the tombstones there, Pamela and Jason.
And that's it.
And we're out.
It's quite the finale.
Interesting.
Okay.
They've really bolstered up their finales from the beginning.
And so then you went to.
Then we did Terror Tram, which was
So this.
where Jack the Clown really.
This is interesting because this was like, as we'll highlight some of it, but this is the only time that you saw Jack for him being the host of the event.
He was in the very first scare zone when you first walked in the park,
Oh, he
where
was.
they had the director statue.
Mhm.
He was there. So as soon as you walked in the park, he was right there to like welcome you and everything. It was awesome. And
So I went.
it's so disappointing because then after that it was like there was like never any more like real icons like that. So to experience that once and not get it again was kind of like, well, what the hell?
Well, I went to Halloween Horror Nights 20 in Florida. And I was so nerded out by the scare zone. They had a scare zone that was all icons.
Oh, that's badass.
And I made a hoodie. This is back when Valley Sporting Goods was still around. And I had screen printed 3,000 miles to face fear himself. And before you got to fear, you went through all these test icons. And Jack was in the scare zone, and I said, Jack, take a picture with me, because they pose out there.
Yeah.
They weren't posing here. And he was like, well, what's your entitlement? And I'm like, very drunk at the time, because they serve you hell alcohol. And I'm like, I flew 3,000 miles to see you, take a picture. And he's like, okay, I just didn't want you to take a shitty picture. So as you're entering Jack's Terror Tram, you just got a bunch of
Chainsaw clowns, breaking props. My favorite year of Terror Tram obviously wasn't this year. I can't remember what year, but you walked into Whoville and you walked around that cart. And then, like, after he brought you in, and that was like, I don't know why, but that was just the best year because it made this first scene just so much better. Because then it kind of felt like it was obviously clown stuff, but the clowns with the whole walking into the Whoville set was just so much better. And still projecting Jack the Clown stuff all over the place.
He's watching. Oh, good job, guy. Just fast forwarding through
This could be the best Terror Tram ever.
scenes.
Just fast forward through the worst, slow crap.
Jason's our Leatherface there. The old Bears Motel. Oh yeah, he's on the road.
Jack the Clown. I don't think there's really anything associated with the hotel to begin with this year. Like, I think it was just like
Was that?
that's always there in some capacity. It may not have been right there, but
Yeah, I don't even remember seeing
they always use the cars with like the bodies in them.
It's like a Mrs. Bates character. I've never actually seen Mrs. Bates walk around before.
This is still part of the carnival of time, so we have Mrs. Bates everywhere. So it started out with the clowns, then it went to Bates, and then
She's just stabbing away here.
You just laughing. Sounds like Butthead.
Because then from here, then it like went to the three characters. Then you went walking to like Camp Crystal Lake, and then that's where they had Jason was at.
That's what
Oh yeah, you got like tents and stuff.
Which was really cool because it was like you were like legitimately outdoors, and you had like the tents and Jason stalking you in the trees, and it was like so much better.
So at this point, are you desensitized yet, or are you still freaking out?
Not Terror Tram never was really like a terrifying type of thing. It was always just kind of something cool. because it was so wide open, and Universal never really got the whole scare zone aspect down, so this itself never really had that big of a scare factor.
It's basically like seeing the movie in front of you. Like giving you that, like you're walking through the movie.
Yeah. Like the few times where they had ever got me is when they would do like that stuff. Like they would have something going on, and you're like looking at it while walking, and then the scare is like right there in your face when you turn back forward. That's the only times like they really did pretty good during Terror Tram.
There's Jack again. I will say, and I don't know. Oh shit! He got really close to that lady. I will say, there's one thing that Universal, and I don't know if they'll ever have the cast size numbered to do it.
This is their big, huge Texas Chainsaw Massacre scene on the Terror Tram.
So she's tied up.
Rather have seen all this when I went.
So her face is just peeled off. That's gnarly.
Other face peeling off faces.
Damn, that chick just...
Yeah, you won't see that anymore.
No, you don't.
No, he's like, oh, you're taking a picture? I'll get out of your way. Oh my gosh, yeah. You won't see that anymore.
The Bates house.
This is when, instead of it being a picture op, like you walked by, and he would like actually like come walking at you or take pictures.
That's awesome.
But it was almost more just like a flyby thing instead of
An organized
now
thing.
there's like a huge line to go get the picture.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it's cool, but it's like,
It's nothing that we've ever stopped and waited for once
No,
it
we
became
did.
like this.
Like you're like, this would have been cool, but like you said, it's different now.
Yeah.
Wait.
and of course, then the War of the Worlds crash site has become Elm Street.
I would have been so much better.
So they had pilots and stuff that were Freddy, but he was dressed up as a pilot or like a stewardess. And so you'd just be walking, or like Freddy's the cop and stuff. Or you'd just be walking, and all of a sudden, like, he'll just turn around and it's Freddy, and you're like, oh shit.
I remember,
You know,
yeah,
that
one of
would
them
be
blasted me with, it was like a Freddy lady with a carriage,
Oh, yeah. I remember that one.
and the baby in the carriage was like a squirt gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Freddy War of the Worlds sections were always pretty
Yeah, they're pretty good.
cool.
It seemed like they hit a point where after that it was like, okay, this is always just going to be a zombie scene now. And I was like, okay.
Doesn't need to be.
It doesn't need to be exactly. It's like, is that a cop out? Like,
But in watching this and previewing this, we're coming up to a section that,
that's Jack the Clown.
yeah, that got me like jealous that I never saw it just
The
because it
tree,
was like a.
the tree eater. I think this guy laughs to cover his being
I think it's like its
terrified.
coping mechanism, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I do that, but I'll scream first, and then I'll.
Him in the
That's
window,
so
that's cool.
awesome.
Oh, there's the carriage. Just a stroller, an empty stroller off to the side.
I will be curious to see if having two more mazes is worth losing the Terror Tram.
Yeah.
I will, like, will basically just that Will, the Us maze, and House with Thousand, or not House with Thousand Corpses, but whatever the one, Creep Show or whatever it is over there. Or maybe it's Us and the one they haven't named yet. Or will those two mazes be worth not having? The thing that's cool about Terror Tram too is that you're walking on an actual movie set.
Yeah. It's one of those things where if you've never done it before, it's really cool the first time. And then once you do it, like 2, 3, 4 times, you kind of go, yeah. Like it's the same sets that you're walking around.
And tearing up that chick in a school bus.
Yeah. And they don't do this kind of stuff anymore on Terror Tram. Like they kind of gotten the same layout, the same idea, and they just kind of
kept it the same.
Like they'll change the characters and the theming, but it's like the exact same no matter what.
Well, I can remember too, like in the next couple of years when we get to them, like Terror Tram was kind of the icon thing.
Yeah.
I remember Ghostface had like a Terror Tram year, and Freddy a couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. So normally in that last scene, Jack the Clown is like forcing the victim into the wood chipper, and they are dousing you with water. Like that whole area is getting blasted with water.
2.5 hour wait for it.
It was awesome.
So guys, get down there as soon as you can. Now, folks, I never
he's
saw
talking about,
the Texas
so
Chainsaw Massacre.
the driver's talking about a 2.5 hour wait for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I think when we were there, it was 3 hours.
Damn, 3 hours.
Yeah.
The Fast and Furious, he's here. Go ahead, get a picture.
Oh my God, is that Vin Diesel?
Folks, it's not Vin Diesel. But
It's not Vin Diesel.
It's not.
Vin Diesel.
Don't worry, folks.
So your last maze that you went on,
I actually did not do this maze this year.
really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because the 3 hour wait.
Oh, so none, like your group just didn't.
No,
know
the rest of the group went and did it, and I decided to like go on Mummy and Jurassic Park and get some food, and there was a couple of us. We just did that.
Which one is it?
This is the Texas
Texas
Chainsaw Massacre. This is.
I didn't want to do the wait, and I knew it was going to be the most terrifying maze in the world.
Yeah, this maze.
But I was very fortunate because the following year it'd come back as the exact same. But yeah, this maze, to this day, to me, this is still the most terrifying maze that they've ever done.
Okay, but original or the
This one is based on
a
the
remake.
oh the remake?
Yeah, which is much worse.
Yeah, that's
far
why
as,
I like
brutality
the
and gore
old
goes.
see, and that's where my problem lies because
They did the original.
they did.
Yeah,
They
Okay.
have done the original.
It easily wasn't as scary as this
Well,
one.
yeah, because it's from a long time ago.
So you're walking through the house. You got the grandpa in the wheelchair. This maze was. The smell of this maze is something that has stuck with me for a very, very, very long time. It's like leathery burnt bacon.
No, not today.
And this is the maze where they were actually talking to you.
Yeah, like they have the characters that were very iconic from the movie, and they're just as creepy as the characters from the film. And they're there in person. This Leatherface is bigger and more terrifying than any of the others. So then they got like all the guys to play that were just as big and scary, jumping out at you with the chainsaw. You're like, holy shit! Like.
They're cutting that poor dude up.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of fat and human parts on the stove.
Oh, nice.
You got the dining room.
Mm-hmm. Grandpa.
Yeah, this maze I can remember being feeling dirty. Like I just watched the movie, like just walking through the maze.
Yeah.
And the attention to detail in it was crazy.
This was definitely one. This was the one they spent the time on. out of everything they did, it was like this one was the one that were like all the thought and everything went into. The Freddy one was terrifying, but this one was like a whole different level.
Do you think out of the ones that you did, the Freddy one probably scared you the most?
Oh yeah. And the creepy guy getting up from the body parts. Yeah.
People being skinned alive, that's terrifying. Motherface is like lurking over the top of you the entire time.
See, the chainsaw one would be like, I'd be already like done.
Well, they did a good job because they like saved up the chainsaw effect until like all towards the end, and all of a sudden it was like everywhere.
And you're like going through the sheets.
Yeah.
But even though they took the blade off of the chainsaw, you still smell the exhaust. So it smells very real still.
As far as where the houses are really disturbing enough, but then when you go into like the meat factory,
oh yeah,
this is where like you got doused. Because I think this part right here where it's like they had like a cage thing and the girl was on top and he was like cutting into it above you and you're just getting drenched.
Yeah.
It was like they moved so fast with that shit with the chainsaw and it was terrible.
I probably would.
Is that what your classic pig room? Was that an homage to that right there?
Oh yeah.
That's what they think.
Yeah, and that one smelled like shit.
I probably would have. Yeah, throw it. Nope.
The strobe and the spray, like that chick's getting blasted right in the face.
Oh, here it is.
Oh god, yeah, over the top, I forgot about that. And then you can hear the cows. So yeah, man, that is 2007's Halloween Horror Nights mazes. You would say out of the ones that you experienced, that your favorite was the Freddy one going live?
Yes. Well, I mean, I thought that was the most terrifying. My favorite though was the House of Horrors. Like I got through with that, and I could have gone right back through that maze. I just love that one. It was cool because that was also one of the things they did was when you went on the Mummy ride, as you came off of it, they actually had
people dressed up.
They actually had somebody dressed up as the fake mummies that are always lined up there, would just jump down at you. And I spent easily like 20 minutes just standing at the exit watching other people getting drilled because that was like so funny. But all in all, we had a blast. I mean, we learned so much just from that first year that going into next year, we're getting there early. We know to hit the bottom first because that first maze down there, And what was rough about this was down in that bottom section, all there was Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the maze. That was it. That was the only one down there. Everything else was up top.
Yeah.
So it was like once you got down there, it was kind of like that's why that wave is huge. But then at least you had the rides. But I mean, so it was decently balanced. But as far as like event wise, everything was upstairs.
Well, next time we do one of these, maybe it'll be next week as Campfire Chronicles winds down, and then as we go check on Jon as we get ready for haunt season, we may be doing some of these from the Higby construction site and all that. But
that'd be cool.
Next week we will talk HHN 2007 Part 2, shows and scare zones, so some Bill and Ted, and the scare zones that were part of HHN 2007. Thank you.
I'll need a refresher course on those.
I almost do live commentary as we watch the show.
Okay, that sounds good.
But thank you for listening, and stay tuned for a whole lot more. Until then, Higby Horror Hunt, you've announced your first maze, the Crinkles Diner maze. And there's a scare zone this year, 3 other mazes, and you guys are doing a slider show, right? Are you doing?
Yeah, it'll mostly be kind of like a demo. Like we're not going to do anything, out of control as far as choreography goes, just because some of us can't be there every night. So that just makes it a little bit more difficult to try to plan some tricks. But we'll pretty much do like our basic stuff that we kind of play around with, and we'll do some jumping and some going under bars and stuff like that. So it'll be pretty entertaining.
So Higby Horror Hunt on Instagram, Facebook, all that, to stay up to date on what they are got planned for us. I think we're going to be there. Have you guys announced your thing on the 5th yet, officially?
No, not officially, but we're getting ready to.
We're going to be there. I know the day before Sinister Creature Con, as just going through the event itself, and we will be there on the 5th for something really special that'll be announced here shortly as well. So stay tuned for all that forthcoming, and next time we will talk Bill and Ted of 07 and the scare zones of 07. Some of the coolest scare zones I've ever been through still. That zombie scare zone was awesome. I think they had it at
the helicopter? Yes.
But thank you for listening, and stay spooky. It's almost Halloween too.